Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another Incursio the Gamer Dungeons & Dragons quick build video. Today we have with us Incursio from Akame Ga Kill. Yes, I'm building the armor. It was suggested to me, I figured I might as well do it. We also have Dante from Limbus coming out today. Keep in touch. So, of course, we must go over who Incursio is. He is Demon Armor Tegu, who was built out of the flesh of Tyrant, the superclass Danger Beast. It is also a prototype, meaning it is not completed. However, it being a prototype does mean it can evolve. Now, it has two users, spoilers ahead, Bulat and Tatsumi. Bulat has to die in order for Tatsumi to evolve it. But before evolution, it has the ability of being near indestructible, as well as having a weapon it can summon called Neon Toad, which is a big red spear. It also has the trump card of being able to turn invisible just because it can. But later on, it evolves. The armor grows stronger, the spear goes longer and bigger, it grows claws on its gauntlets, a tail on its backside, as well as wings. Its face hole grows just straight up like a mouth and grows teeth around it. Aura farming, basically. It grows horns. Tatsumi grows scales. His eyes change color from green to red. The armor consumes its user alive, however, it does grant them additional power that it kind of needs. Now, of course, you could, take the time to adapt to the armor, but Tatsumi didn't have that time, therefore, he just kind of got eaten by the armor. It is what it is. Um, you know, the Danger Beast Tyrant just kind of eats you alive and turns you into it, basically assimilation, and you can't really do anything about it except for not use it. Now, let's get to the stats. Strength, Dex, Con, your priority. Charisma 13. Intelligence and Wisdom dump stats. Why? Because you are a Warforged Barbarian 3, Sorcerer 3, with Path of the Beast, naturally, and Draconic Bloodline. You'll see why. Now, you have walking speed 30, hit points 59, AC 17, initiative 3. You're resistant to poison and immune to disease and magical sleep as you are armor. Strength con will be your proficient saving throws, advantage against being poisoned, and advantage on dex, with effects you can see while not blinded, deaf, and incapacitated. 12, 10, 9 for passive senses. Unfortunately, I could not get those up, even though you are great at proficient. You're very, very proficient with perception. Dark vision 30 feet, of course. Here are your proficiencies with stuff and skills. Athletics, intimidation, perception, survival are all Incursio things. I would personally replace history with stealth, but history could be, say, Bulat or Tatsumi, understanding the knowledge that they've gained from being a night raid. Now, of course, let's talk actions. Halberd is going to be your attacking type spear, whereas javelin and spear will be your throwing type spear. I decided to add all three as they are all useful in their own manners. Of course, javelin and spear are pretty much the same, except javelin's a little better with a slightly longer range. However, spear does have sap. You guys take whichever one you want. Shocking Grasp comes with, as it can be maybe flavored as the resistant ability against those lightning attacks, I believe, that came from Budo, I think. He did have some lightning attacks. But anyways, unarmed strike, just a normal punch. And of course you have Form of the Beast. Now, I flavor this as, the evolution. Mid-fight, you can grow the teeth, you can grow the tail, you can grow the claws. I like the tail a lot more as it gains a little bit of extra reach, and it doesn't require that you don't wield a weapon, of course. Now, you have your dash, disengage, dodge, grapple, shove, of course. You also have sorcery points, as you are a sorcerer. With Beast Tail, I think it is nice, reach property. You also, I think, gain a little bit of AC equal to the number rolled on your D8 with a reaction. But anyways, you have sorcery points for spells, which is lovely. Let's talk bonus actions. To weapon fighting, of course, you're not really going to need that because you're just going to go into Rage or convert sorcery points or Misty Step even, as that is something as he moves fast. Now, Raging, meaning he just does more damage, I figure this can be the more battle-oriented version of Incursio rather than the stealth version that he does sometimes use. Tatsumi does use stealth quite a bit. Now, resistant to all non-magical damage, of course, and advantage on strength, ability checks, and you just deal a little bit of damage. Now, it lasts for a minute. You can always just go into it again in combat, which is perfectly fine. Additionally, Expediter's Retreat, Misty Step cannot be used. However, you're here to fight, not flee. Let's talk reactions. Form of the Beast Tail reaction, which is great, and opportunity attack. You have other, which is Metamagic Empowered Spell and Subtle Spell. Subtle Spell, to cast invisibility without any components. This truly makes it like actual invisibility, which is nice. You can see it in an episode where Tatsumi escapes Death with his Incursio armor using invisibility, as well as empowered spell to just pretty much re-roll the dice, which is nice. For damage, just in case you need it. Limited use, you've already seen it all. Let's talk spells. Light, Shocking Grasp, Sword Burst, and True Strike. Sword Burst, well, it isn't exactly a sword, it is more of a spear, as you are swinging your spear in a large big circle, dealing some damage, of course. True Strike, Light, those are, non-damaging spells, but it is what it is. For True Strike, consider the armor telling you, like quite literally telling you, what the enemy's weaknesses are. The light comes from the eyes, naturally. Now, for the actual spells, I took things that weren't actually damaged spells except for Catapult, as you throw the spear and just damage them even more. As the spear, I'm sure, weighs like 5 pounds, you can just chuck it, deal 3d8 extra damage, which is nice. Expeditious Retreat, you retreat in a quick, timely fashion. Catapult, of course, again, Invisibility and Misty Step. Invisibility comes with the armor, of course. Let's talk inventory. Cigarettes were admittedly from the Gregor sheet, as I reused them unfortunately, but I will delete that right now, of course. Now, halberd, javelin, spear. You have those three, and barbarians do not come with armor or a shield, and neither does Incursio. He is the armor, which is why his AC is already so high. Now, you have your backpack full of junk that you might need just in case you are running, with Night Raid. You have some stuff for a couple of days. Now, features and traits, let us talk your first class. Barbarian. Perception, Survival. You also have Rage. You enter 3 times, dealing 2 extra melee damage, which is good. Now, Unarmored Defense, which is great because your Dex and Con are already high, plus Warforged plus 1, that is 17 AC. Reckless Attack, you can recklessly attack with advantage, and, you get disadvantage on you. I think people get advantage to attack against you. Danger Sense is great, as well as Primal Path, you're going to take Path of the Beast, and you have all of these options, really. You have Claws, Bite, and Tail, which is neat. Evolution, am I right, guys? Now, for Sorcerer, you have Draconic Bloodline, which is great because Dragon Ancestor, eventually you'll be able to grow wings, as well as Draconic Resilience, max HP increase, and your AC just straight up equals 16 when you aren't wearing armor. Now, you can, of course, dump your con down and put it into Charisma, swap those, and your AC is still just as high, but I also like having a high hit point pool. Metamagic, Empowered, and Subtle Spell, naturally. Species traits, Constructed Resilience. Of course, you don't need to eat or sleep or anything because you are armor. But Century Rest, as unfortunately we cannot make living armor, you still gotta sleep in your campaigns. Integrated Protection plus 1 to AC, of course. Now let us talk feats. You only have Savage Attacker from Soldier to deal a little more damage. You really don't need anything else. Let's talk background. Now, for Soldier, you have Dexterity and Con, increase them both. For Alignment, Chaotic Evil, as that is what Tyrant is. As well as your Faith being in Tyrant, because you are Tyrant. As the armor, you are the Danger Beast who is able to consume its users. However, you can also play it as, you are constantly inside this armor, or you could just make an item for it. I'll show you guys a little bit of a legendary item I made for fun, because I really like the Incursio armor. Anyways, your eyes turn from yellow to red later on. Your skin is gray as your armor, and you're medium. You don't really have a height, weight, age, hair, or gender, as you don't really identify with any of those. You add whatever you want for personality, notes, and extras, of course. Now, I believe I do have Incursio armor in here somewhere. Incursio. Now, I do have the short sword, of course, which is great. You can turn it into full body armor. And, of course, you turn it to the Incursio suit. Oh, I believe it is the artifact version. Worthy. You must be worthy. You must roll a certain dice. Unless you fail, then you're fine. If you do fail, you take 10d10 force damage, and you have to try again. You can, of course, be used 3 times a day. Dragon Scales, increase your armor class by 2. This is a legendary item after all. Tegu are not common. It evolves. With the first evolution, it's plus 2 to strength, and so on and so forth. I really like the concept of evolution, of course, but it is what it is. I mean, you're not really going to find a legendary, you're not going to start off with a legendary item either. So, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Incursio. I hope you guys really enjoyed this one. Dante's coming out later today. I am building him right now, of course, and I hope you guys really do have a wonderful one. Remember, level 6. I only build this so far, and no one has asked me to build a level 20 yet. So, yeah. I mean, hope you enjoyed the video. Goodbye, and good night. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.